You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek.
Altered Geek. Get altered. Geek. Altered Geek. From Star Wars to Star Trek, comics to tech. Altered Geek. Get altered. Geek. Altered Geek. Pull up a chair 'cause you're an altered geek.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and in this episode of the podcast, I'm doing something abnormal. I'm recording while I'm driving. Yes, so I have my phone mounted to my car. I'm sitting here, driving my car, going to school, for the third to the last time. And what I mean by that is I'm ending school. I'm finally getting that coveted associate's degree. It's only taken me 4 years to do it. Typically, if someone was going full-time, they could get this degree done in about 2 years, maybe 3. It's taken me 4 to the semester to get it done because I don't have all the time in the world to go. And I've had to take 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 classes, depending. But that is all over. No more parking in a crappy parking garage where it looks like the roof is going to cave in or the parking lot is in dire need of repair. I go to a community college kind of close to home, but their parking lot and their parking ramps are sorely in need of repair. And I hate saying that because, like, the school's actually pretty good. The pricing is good. The staff are awesome. It's a really great community college, but, like, their parking lot sucks. So, yeah, I've been sitting in this same classroom. I've kind of lucked out. A lot of my classes, like, I've taken business classes, and I'll end up in the same room, 2-3 times. I've taken media classes. I've actually ended up in the same media room for every one of my media classes but one. And I've taken 6 or 7 media classes, and it's amazing to me. And the funny thing is that I'm finally going to be done. It's so exciting that I can't even fathom it. Because, one, I'm going to have a normal work schedule again, which is going to be awesome. Instead of having the schooling taking a chunk of 3 to 4 hours out of 2 days a week. So that's 8 hours a week that's just eaten up by school. Plus whatever time I have to spend during the week to actually do the homework or do the classwork that has to be done at home. It's finally going to be all over. And as I'm ending this last class, I can't even tell you how excited I am. It's been a ride. I've learned a lot. Some of it not so much. Some of it's stuff that I learned on my own, such as recording in a studio environment. I have my own at home. I have my own editing software. I have all my own computer tech gear, so like whenever it comes to actually recording a show, I don't want to do it at school. I do it at home. I would rather leave class and do it at home because my hardware is so much better than the crap that they have at the school. And for them to just get brand new hardware is kind of ridiculous to say that. They have like Macintosh computers. Couldn't tell you what version of Apple is on there, but they've got all the software. They've got like Celtics for the script writing. They've got, or Final Draft or something. They've got Pro Tools. They've got all that. Like the Pro Tools thing, I can kind of see for their booth, but I can do the same thing with a condenser microphone and a well-orchestrated office and do it in Adobe Audition and not have to deal with all the extra stuff. So it's been kind of interesting. I mean, I know a little bit about that. I don't know anything about Pro Tools, honestly, but I've never really had to use it. They usually have a computer tech or a class aide do it. But the rest of the stuff, like I've done 90% of it at home. Like I don't like editing at school because one, the mouse throws me to the shortcut commands. So I take everything home and I edit it there, and I have a 27-inch monitor at home and a second monitor, so if there's stuff I need to be doing, and I can do graphics on the one screen, and I can do on the 27-incher, I can do my I can do all the rest of the content there for the editing, and it's the same size screen as what the school has. The only difference I think that I have is, one, I have 12 gigs of memory, and I think they have 8 in their machines. But I have a solid-state hard drive and have all my editing software installed on it, which I think is an instrumental thing in terms of my editing skills, is the fact that the hard drive is on flash memory as opposed to a moving disk, which is what the schools have. And you would think for having editing as the primary use of these machines, they would have faster machines. I don't know. And I think that the fact that they get locked into these contracts for the certain things, it's kind of crap too, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just on my soapbox with that, but yeah, I'm finally to the end of the tunnel. I almost have my final project put together, which is a newscast. We had to do a news broadcast using TV news packages that we had to do as individuals and comprise into... we had to craft a newscast and have a couple people anchor it, somebody record it, somebody... I did the teleprompter because I was the only one that knew how. I'm doing the editing because they all opted to have me do it. I had the most experience with editing, so... not that any of them did bad with their edits at all, because they all did pretty well for what we were given. But I think that they opted to have me edit because it was just easier and I can do it a lot faster. And I don't know. I think it was just because one, I sometimes open my mouth and boast too much about, oh, I did this and I did that, and so I ended up doing it. But I enjoyed my team. It was one of the few times that... I've had pretty good teams in most of my assignments throughout my college experience. I have to say that that's been one of the pluses. But yeah, I've been fortunate. But yeah, so I'm super glad that it's almost over. This ride is almost done. I'll have my associate's degree mailed to me. I'm not going to the graduation. Have no intention of it. Don't want to buy this cap and gown. Don't really care. I just want to be done. I have an awesome job working in media. I have media as a side thing that I do that is podcasting, and I make no money from it, but it's enjoyable. And once in a while there's a little stuff involved, whether it's like swag that I get to review or, the occasional like marketing thing that will be enough to pay for hosting for the month or something. But I don't really make anything. So yeah, I get to concentrate from school on hanging out with my family, which will be awesome. I'll get to see my kids more in the morning and in the evening every day, and I won't have to use any time for school to do that. I'll also be able to concentrate on stuff I need to do for Geekcast Radio and get that all done, and Altered Geek, and I won't feel as burnout just because by the end of the day, with between working full time and then the kids, and then doing schoolwork, and then the podcasts and everything on top of it, lately I haven't really wanted to do anything. No editing. I haven't wanted to do any of it. Like, I procrastinated on about every assignment in class this past year, just because I'm at the end of the tunnel. I'm burnt out. I'm done. Yeah, so like the audio stuff that we had to do for class was rather simplistic. The video stuff is not really my forte. I can edit audio all day long, doesn't bother me. I know what to look for. I know where to find the issues. I know where the uhs, how they look in the actual podcast waveform. Been trying not to do that lately. The video stuff, it's a little bit harder to cut because you have to make it look natural, or you have to put something to overlay when there is a cut so that the audio sounds great, but the video doesn't look like it's clipping. And it's just been a lot of fun. I'm sure I've lost like the majority of you through this entire conversation. But yeah, I'm super excited to be done, have my degree in what I'm working in what I'm doing for fun. And yeah, it's been a ride. So that being said, I get to go to class and converse with my teammates. Next week we have our final exam, and then we get to display these grand videos next Thursday. And we get to turn them in the night before, and as long as they're turned in, we get to watch them on Thursday next week, and then we get to leave. So being there's only 2 groups, we should only actually be in class about 20 minutes next Thursday, and then we get to leave. And then I'm going to go get an oil change in my car, and take a gander up to the car lot and that I used to work at, and pay them a little visit and hang out for, I don't know, like 45 minutes. And I've got some pretty awesome stuff planned for my wife for Mother's Day. Can't say a word about it because I don't know if she'll ever listen. And if she does, I don't want her knowing. So we're actually not going to be around the week of Mother's Day. So I won't be recording an episode that week. I may pre-record something, have like a topical show that myself and Blanchard, or myself and Dodd, or Dan, or somebody and I record. I just got to figure out when and what. That's one of the things I've been running into lately, is I've been running into this like brick wall where I want to talk about the geeky news, but at the same time, I don't really care. The movie news, yes. Superheroes, somewhat. Tech, really into it when I see it. That interests me, but a lot of the content lately has been, and I don't care. And so it's been really hard for me to record anything. I kind of think that I'm getting like the summer blues. Like I really want to be outside. I really want to enjoy life and be outside, not have to worry about school, not have to worry about just anything. I'm in my office 40 plus hours a week, 50 hours a week, in my basement, which is freezing. So like at any point I'm looking forward to actually getting out of the office, which my wife was like, you're gonna hate working from home. I love working from home, don't get me wrong, love it with nothing. I have no qualms about it whatsoever. Love it totally. My issue is that when I sit down at the end of the day after recording a podcast, or after editing crap with the website, which there's some major stuff coming this year. I just can't tease any of it yet. So there's some major stuff going on with the website, but I get done with work and I just want a game because it's the only thing I can do that keeps my mind off just how busy I am. So, that being said, I'll be right back after this quick break. Do you want to interact with the show? Well, you can get a hold of us in the following ways. You can email us, feedback@alteredgeek.com, or you can fill out the form on the website on alteredgeek.com. You can also get on the episode post on alteredgeek.com and make your comments there. You can, of course, get a hold of us on the social media, Facebook @AlteredGeek, or on Twitter @AlteredGeek. And, of course, you can find the show on the following locations. You can get it on iTunes, on Google Play, on Stitcher, and on TuneIn, Blog Talk Radio, as well as alteredgeek.com. And now, back to the show. And we're back. So, after concluding that third of the last class of school, I have come to the conclusion that I cannot wait for it to be over. And yes, I got my footage, I got my flash drive loaded up, got the part of the assignment that the other people already did, so I can mix it in the assignment, put in the lower thirds, and I get to turn it in on YouTube to my teacher, and I am good. I'm done. Cannot wait. So, that aside, superhero shows came back this week. Supergirl, meh, so. It was kind of cool. I mean, you had the guy that plays Ravi from iZombie on the show playing kind of the villain. But there's a twist. And then, so you get, there's another show, Arrow. It's got some stuff going on, but it's still not, like, all the way there for me. I kind of don't really care. But I think that's kind of just because it's the end of the season. I'm just waiting to see who they're bringing back. Villain-wise, I hear rumor has it Malcolm Merlin's coming back for the end of the series or season, and then what's the other character? Deathstroke is supposed to be back, so I guess we'll see what happens on Arrow. As for Team Flash, Barry going to the future was kind of a bust. The only one who knows who Savitar is Caitlin Snow. And Caitlin, now that she's Killer Frost, it goes to the future, and spoilers for anyone that has not seen the Flash episode yet. You get to see Barry in the future. He's kind of emo, fighting Top and Mirror Master, and then Cisco's there. He can't vibe anymore because Killer Frost and that duel that Vibe and Killer Frost get into, she freezes his hands and his hands shatter, and so he's got robo hands. And then Barry's kind of a dick in the future. It takes place like years after Iris died. And Cisco convinces future Barry to take up the mantle again, and he's got a new futuristic Flash suit, more red and kind of cool looking, more lightning bolty. And I actually like that suit probably the best out of any of them that I've seen so far, whether it be from the actual show or from the movie. That future Flash outfit that they had him wearing was awesome. And then, of course, we get into towards the end, like all the guys from the team of Team Flash reunite for Team Flash in the future, because all the female characters are either dead or evil, and Caitlin won't, because she's completely Killer Frost, won't divulge to Barry of the past who Savitar actually is. And she says he's not going to expect it. It's a twist. And I have my own thoughts and recollections of what I think it could be. And I think that, one, Savitar is going to be either, because it's not Wally, it's not Jesse, it's not, I almost want to say it's going to be like Ronnie Raymond, because the blue flames kind of engulfing him, he's going to turn into death, like, instead of the firestorm, he'll turn into Deathstorm. So, like, essentially he can kind of take away meta powers or kind of kill people or whatnot. But I think that it could be Ronnie Raymond, because without Stein, he would turn blue instead of... Because Stein's done it too, before he got Jackson. And so, like, I think it's him, because the look on Caitlin's face is like one of recognition and like surprise when he steps out of the suit. And being that he was kind of imprisoned in a singularity and it didn't really tell that he died and Stein was there, there's the possibility that it's still open for interpretation. And so in that sense, I think that it could be him. That's just one guess. It could also be a Flash from an alternate timeline. So it could be the Flash that's from Harrison Wells' timeline, who apparently they've already shown when interacting with the bounty hunter that has Vibe's powers. So there is that. It could be that one too. So I guess we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to be anybody else other than those two, but I think that it's going to be in that realm. So jumping into a little bit of movie stuff, Pirates of the Caribbean trailers dropped recently. You get to see that Will Turner's son. You get to see quite a few stuff there. Jack Sparrow's not really the focal point, but he's going to be in it. I'm sure I've talked about that at some point. It's something I'm looking forward to. And then, of course, we have another Transformers thing going on, which I'm going to leave that alone. Cars 3, there's a new trailer that dropped of that where it's showing a younger race car trying to... she called it her senior project, which is kind of funny because Lightning at this point is supposed to be old. Kind of like Hudson Hornet. And then they've got a lot of the original returning cast from the first film that weren't necessarily in the second film. So it's going to be kind of cool to see that. Everybody kind of returning. They're going to have Lightning get banged up quite a bit, and he's going to kind of come back out like Hudson Hornet did and become top dog again for at least one race where he's racing the new race car where he isn't going to go faster, but he's got to go smarter. And I think that this will probably be the best Cars movie that they've had, but I guess time will tell on that. It seems to be like the third one's the charm on Pixar. Granted, they've only done 3 of Toy Story so far. And we're about to get the second Incredibles, which I'm stoked about. So I guess we'll just see what happens with that film. So what's a topic that you guys would like to hear me talk about? I do have several ideas for short segments, as well as little clips. And I'm going to go into the route of maybe some like movie, TV review stuff, maybe a video game, maybe something like... And it's going to be very short form. I kind of want to get into that and get away from like a lot of the news. It's going to be a lot more discussion based in the future just because it's easier to riff on than necessarily talking about the news. But yeah. So as for Geekcast Radio is concerned, there's a lot of big plans coming. We are planning out the next Top 100 in a way that everyone involved will be able to interact and to give suggestions. We will be having another GCRN Wars tournament. We recently had a meeting with Geekcast Radio staff. The Core 4, as I call it. And there's quite a few good plans coming down the ropes in the next coming months or so. I have taken the idea of decidedly I'm going to take a vacation this year. I will not be in town a week in May, so that'll be a week I'm not here, as I mentioned before, and then there'll be a week in July that I won't be available because of I'm going to be going up north, so I'm going to be in a virtual dead zone, completely dead zone. I don't know how I'm going to survive a week without technology, because I won't have any data. I won't have any cell phone service. It's going to be in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. There's a campground. I'm not sure what week even I'm going. I can't keep that straight. But it's going to be strange, to be certain. I'm not one for being without my tech, and to go a week without it, I'm going to feel like I'm having withdrawals by the end of the week. Now, I might feel great not having it on me or having the concerns, but I know that if anything goes haywire while I'm gone, I'm going to flip when I come back. And then as far as my May vacation, I'll still have all my tech. I'm going to have my portable computer that's about the size of... It's about the size of about the length of a 12-ounce can of pop, but it's about as thick as 2 smartphones stacked. So it's going to be great. I'm going to hook that up HDMI. I got a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, and hook that up to the hotel TV when I get there. Connect to Wi-Fi, and then, man, I'm going to have me an awesome computer on the go. Plus, I'll have access to all of the stuff that I need. So, it's going to be great. Going to be great. So, yeah, I'm thinking about covering less movies and less TV shows. I don't know what you guys think about that. I'm kind of not really wanting to talk about any of it. Although I will say Prison Break is desperately filling that need that I enjoy, and it's definitely hitting the vein that it used to hit when I was watching the original show, the original first 4 seasons. It's only at 4 episodes in. They've already kind of given away the villain. They've done something with Kellerman, but they're not telling, like, they've done this before. They don't show anything happen. They insinuate that it happened. And to me, if you don't physically see them get shot and killed, it didn't happen. Not in Prison Break. Prison Break, they brutally murder them if they're going to die. That's just how it is. You see the blood roll, and you see them, like, just dead. They did it with quite a few characters in the show throughout its iterations. Every time somebody was going to leave or die, they took them out that way. Kellerman's had 2 false deaths before. I'm thinking this might be the 3rd. Because they show them always in dire straits and then a gun going off somewhere. But they never actually show them die. And I think that his story may yet play out differently. But then again, they could pull it where he actually does die, so I don't know. And then they finally escaped the prison, episode 4, because they're trying to fast track it with 9 episodes for the season. So now it's more or less getting out of the country, not necessarily just the jail. And it's kind of interesting to see who the ringleader is, and you won't find that out till the very end, but Theodore Bagwell actually is redeemed in this show. Because it's supposed to be 7 years after, and there's like another master strategist playing a game just like Schofield. And it's not who you think it is who you think it is. But they kind of insinuate in the first episode right away, and you kind of figure out who it's going to be. But again, time will tell. So, anyways, that shows that one's on par with me for like Lethal Weapon and like how good those are. And only difference is this is written better and the continuity is better. And the only thing I wish they'd explain is how the heck he survived the explosion, Schofield. Because he was in the building when it blew up, and apparently he had to hold on to these two connectors. And they showed him dead, but he's not dead. So I don't know what they did. I hope they explain it. But yeah, so that's kind of how the show went for that. And so, like I said, I've been playing a lot of Star Trek Online. I'm a part of a fleet. Although I have no idea how the fleet thing works, how you're supposed to like get perks of the fleet to buy stuff from the fleet, how you get to actually go to the starbase unless it's just a dashboard, and then the whole thing with it. Like, I'm level 60. I'm a fleet admiral now, a Starfleet fleet admiral. And instead of a Starfleet admiral, so I'm as high as you can get, and now you can get like ambassadorship titles and titles based on your status in missions past level 60. So, like, theoretically, I can become an ambassador. You can unlock when you complete now. There's like side missions you can do, like you do the Battle of Procyon 5, where you're helping the Enterprise J with Captain Chekhov and Captain Scotty, with Agent Daniels and the like, kind of preserve the timeline and take care of the Dyson, the sphere builders. And you play the mission like 3 times, and you can collect some pretty decent swag in there. Plus, you can get a lot of... you build up enough like dilithium or like omega marks or temporal marks or stuff like that, and you can actually do research, and it builds up your level. And when you get enough stuff, you can level up in those categories. And if you hit high enough of experience in those categories, then you get to unlock like special gear. You get to unlock like the Mako or the Omega armors and weaponry. You get to unlock some new costumes. You get to get a bunch of different stuff. So I've been playing that, doing the research on it. Some of the stuff should be done like 8 o'clock tonight on the game. So I'm experimenting with that. I've got Enterprise 1701. I've got 1701A. I've got 1701C, 1701D, 1701E. And I thought I had... I have like a Stargazer, basically, class with it's basically the Stargazer with a Galaxy class saucer. And then I have a runabout and a shuttlecraft and a ton of bridge crew. I have like 9 bridge crew. All different things: security, tactical, medical, science, engineering, operations, just all different stuff. I like how you can go in the ship and you can actually run around your own ship. So it's kind of interesting there, and you can get, model ships to go in the ready room, and it's basically the Enterprise D, like, standard ready room. And then I thought I had the Enterprise J bought in the game, and it's a fleet V6 it's a fleet V6 something or another in game, and it's a fleet battle cruiser type thing, but it's not the Enterprise J, because that thing is monstrous, and so is the Kelvin Enterprise. So, but I'll be back after this.
Hey, this is Steve Bloom, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
So I think that's about it on this episode of Altered Geek. Quite a few things going on, and I'm back in my studio here, preparing the episode for upload, and yeah, so there's quite a bit of stuff going on. As for superhero TV, Black Siren returns in episode 22 of Arrow. Captain Cold returns in episode 22 of The Flash. And Cat Grant returns in episode 21 of Supergirl. So there's some returns of some old characters to the shows. So, yeah, not a lot going on. I'm starting on the 23rd century Star Trek Online now. Almost done with all the missions. It's all in the past, but it all has to do with time travel and Daniels and the Gorn, the Tholians, the Nakul, and Captain Chekhov from the future, and Captain Scott. So it's intertwining into part of the past history of Star Trek, and I like how it fits. I just hope that before I finish, it actually ends up in the 25th century characters. So, which it sounds like that may happen. Because there was an incident that it says that the character was killed and they were brought forth to the 25th century, so I'm not sure if they let you continue that character from there. If they do, that's pretty awesome. I probably should have played that first. But yeah, then I'll go back to my level 60 character and kind of go from there. But yeah, definitely awesome. So until next week, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.